What's up, brick builders? Mayor Brick here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you an updated look at the Lego city that I'm building in my basement. Now, this is going to be a work in progress, obviously, over the next couple of months, but we are likely never going to see it in this empty state again. So I thought it'd be really good to document the beginning, the early stages of the build out here, so we can see what it looks like while empty. And then I can't wait to see it towards the end of the year as we start building and placing a lot of our builds. So there are three kind of major functional areas to the city, so to speak. We have the city itself, the downtown, we have the airport, and then we have the theme park. Now I have 5 of these custom built tables. These are 8 feet by 4 feet. That's the size of the plywood, so I just went with it. And the downtown city will be 2 of those tables. The theme park will also be 2 of those tables, and the airport will be a singular table. Now, all in, we can fit, I think it's about 237 base plates, which is a heck of a lot of base plates. Obviously I didn't buy these base plates from Lego directly. That would be a huge cost. I ordered these cheapo ones from Amazon, which pains me because I only typically like using official Lego product. Base plates are the only thing, however, that I will compromise just due to the volume needed. So first thing I did here from the last update y'all got was I reconfigured these tables a little bit. I have the city and the airport connected, with the airport being the top of the T, so to speak. It's in a T shape. And then the city will be the 2 base plates south of that. The theme park will be on the left. Those will be the 2 tables by the window. And I pulled those tables away from the wall just to give some walk around space so I can do a 360 view. Now, I also added an additional shop light because one of the things the basement stinks at is lighting. So I have these shop lights I got from Harbor Freight. They're 10,000 lumens. They add a significant amount of light. I love them. And you can connect up to 4 on one string. So I have two of these plugged into an outlet that I kind of have hanging from the ceiling, just, had to work with what I got. And then the theme park has 2 lights, the airport has 1 light, and the city has 2. I'm trying to do 1 light per table. That helps with the lighting. Then of course, as we get close-ups and whatnot, where I need additional lighting, I have some mobile lighting rigs I can bring around to use. So the city, we have 2 tables here. There are 95 base plates total. That allows us to fit 60 modulars in the way I have this configured. Now, I don't have 60 modulars to add in today, but we're obviously going to need space to grow. And then in addition to the official modular line, I also have a whole bunch of city sets, friend sets, and rebrickables that we will make into modular buildings. So I wanted to have room to include all of those as well as expand. And you'll notice I have this in a grid fashion. Some people either love it or hate it. I love it, and it's my city, so I'm going with it. I think down the road, we might add in some elevation, maybe raise half of the table up, a couple bricks to bring in some elevation. But, for me, for my purposes, this is what I want to build for my first Lego city. We'll obviously evolve as we go, but I think this is a good setup. You'll also notice the roads here are set up in one-way fashion. I didn't do 2-way roads. Of course, this allows for more flexibility with your Lego city. You can fit more modulars in. You can fit way more in than if you were to do the 2-way roads. I did do a 2-way road in the middle just to incorporate something different halfway through the table, but I tend to like the one-way roads. This gives you a 360 look around the city. You're not going to be really seeing any backsides of modular buildings, and this is just what I wanted to do to start. So I'm sure we'll evolve this as we go. So like I said, we'll have a mix of official modulars, official Lego sets that are kind of modular, like the Avengers Tower, the Daily Bugle, but they're not technically considered modulars. And then we'll also have some custom modulars, some rebrickables, and some additional things in here as well. The next part here is the airport at the top of the T. I love planes. I love there's an AFOL TV mock of an airport, which I'm going to be building something kind of like that. The only problem with airports is they take up so much space. And so, I thought it would be good to dedicate a table to this. I might not need the whole table, to be honest. I might need maybe 2 base plates wide for a runway, and then maybe 1 or 2 for the actual airport itself. And so there might be another row of base plates that I can repurpose and add into the city, add as an extension of the city if I need to. But I am reserving this whole table for airport. I want to have the planes. I want to have the, the terminal, the security check, baggage baggage claim, all of that. I want to build that huge mock. I love it. So the city is 95 base plates. The airport is 47 and a half base plates. I added a row of half base plates at the end to fill the 8-foot table. And then the other table over here is going to be for the theme park. This is also 95 base plates. This is going to be a little bit less of a grid fashion and more chunks of themes. So, for example, there will be a Star Wars section of this theme park, Jurassic Park, SpongeBob, some of these different IPs and themes that LEGO has done through the years. They're going to be in little pods throughout the theme park. And so it'll be less of a grid fashion, but more of a grouping of fun themes. And I think 2 tables is good to start. There's room for expansion if we need, obviously, but I think this was a good size initial setup for the theme park. And at the end of it, I'm going to have some Ninjago, the Ninjago city, docks, gardens, all of those big sets with some water, and that'll kind of blend into the theme park. It's hard to integrate the Ninjago sets, and I thought the theme park would be better than the city. I think underneath the theme park, there is a ton of open space here, and I have a bunch of those IKEA, what are they called? The Alex tables, I believe they might be called, or there's a name for them. Linman, Addles. I don't know. These are a bunch of words I hear from IKEA, but I can't remember what's what. I have a bunch of those white tables, which I believe I'm going to put under here because I think there's going to be about a foot and a half gap from the top of the table to the underside of my custom tables. And I think I'm going to do a train yard because I also want to incorporate trains to the city, but they just take up so much dang space. So I think I'm going to build those under the theme park and have a little dimension underneath the theme park with all the trains. TBD on that, but I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, now I have some area, open space, open area in front of these tables and in between the tables, and that's because I also travel to shows like Brick World, some local fundraisers and whatnot, and I want to be able to have a space to build my traveling displays and kind of store them as I'm building them. And so I have space here to set up my 8-foot table, my 6-foot table, whatever I'm going to be traveling with, I can build in the build room upstairs, bring it down here, start to organize the travel display, and then pack it up. And I wanted to have space to be able to do that. So that's why I have space here. Of course, if the city gets to a point where I have to expand, I might have to tap into that space. But we don't have to deal with that quite yet. I also have all of my overflow parts here. I think you've all seen my studio upstairs. We'll do an update on that here soon, but anything that I have excess quantities or excess inventory of, I keep down here. I also have all of my used sets that I need to go through and build. There are quite a number of boxes of these, and each of these boxes can contain anywhere, 5 to 15 sets, depending on how big they are. So there's a lot for us to build. And then, of course, I also have my new inbox backlog. These are either going to be, official sets we're going to integrate into the city, something I want to build for a travel display, or maybe sets that I just want to part out and add to my parts collection. But once we get the city set up and a good system going with building, displaying, traveling, I think then we'll be able to start making some progress on these. But I have a feeling I'm going to keep buying more too, so I don't know if we'll ever really see physical progress on these shelves. Okay, then the last 2 things I wanted to touch on today were something I need y'all's help for. I want to add skirts on the bottom of these tables. Maybe not the theme park because I'm going to add the trains there potentially, but these are custom tables that are about 36 inches tall. Most of the skirts I'm seeing on Amazon and whatnot are they cap out at about, I think, 30 inches or 24 or 30 inches, which will obviously leave some gap at the bottom. If anybody can find table skirts that go 36 inches, please link them to me because I am searching far and wide and can't seem to find them. Also, I'm looking for some sort of backdrop to hang around the entire Lego city. As you can see, this is an unfinished basement and the insulation spray on the walls is ugly. So I would like to have some sort of curtain or shade or I don't know, something to hang around the perimeter of the Lego city. Maybe it's blue with clouds, a cloud pattern, who knows? I'm just trying to find something that I can hang. And I don't want it to be these plastic little things that are going to get caught and ripped, just maybe cloth, linen, I don't know, something to hang around the city. So if you have any suggestions on what I should do here, please let me know. I want to try and hide the unfinished basement as much as I can and make it feel a little bit more realistic with a cohesive background. background. Any ideas will be super helpful, and I appreciate it. So that's it for today. Just wanted to give you a quick overview of the Lego City, some of the progress and updates I've been making. More to come in the next couple of videos. We'll do an update on the Lego build room and getting that cleaned up. I still have my Brick World mocks that I need to go through and organize. And I have a show here coming up in about a month in Illinois. 2 tables will be the space display, and then 1 table will be a 8-foot Buc-ee's mock. If you've been to Buc-ee's, you know Buc-ee's is big and fantastic, and so will my build of it be. All right, thanks guys for the time. We'll see you in the next one.